I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark.
What if the future of an entire professional sports league, its billion-dollar potential, and the careers of hundreds of athletes all hinged on the decision of a single 22-year-old? And what if the one person who exposed the entire shocking truth wasn't a league insider, but the loudest, most controversial voice in all of sports media? Stephen A. Smith just laid it all out, and his confirmation of Caitlin Clark's unbelievable power move reveals exactly how she single-handedly saved the WNBA's 2026 season before it even began. This isn't just about basketball. It's about a high-stakes game of money, power, and a secret that was hiding in plain sight. A ticking financial time bomb that threatened to relegate the league to permanent obscurity. This is the story of how one player's arrival didn't just make waves, it triggered a tsunami that fundamentally altered the financial destiny of everyone involved, exposing the quiet desperation that was building behind closed doors. For years, the WNBA has been fighting an uphill battle, a valiant but often frustrating struggle for the spotlight. It's a league filled with world-class athletes, Olympic champions, and incredible talent, yet it has consistently struggled to break into the mainstream consciousness. The conversations were always the same: lower viewership, smaller salaries compared to their male counterparts, and a constant fight for respect and media coverage. The league was stable, but it wasn't exploding. It was surviving, not thriving. While legends like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and Candace Parker dominated the court and built Hall of Fame careers, their brilliance never translated into the kind of cultural saturation that moves the financial needle in a massive way. Viewership numbers often plateaued, with regular season games averaging under 500,000 viewers, a respectable figure, but not one that screams media giant. Behind the scenes, a financial time bomb was ticking. The league's media rights deal, the lifeblood of any modern sports organization, was seen as drastically undervalued. They were caught in a vicious cycle, needing more exposure to command a bigger media deal, but needing the money from a bigger deal to fund the marketing and production values that create mainstream exposure. It was a classic catch-22, and with the current deal set to expire after the 2025 season, the pressure was mounting. The league needed more than just a great player, and it needed a cultural earthquake. It needed a savior, but no one could have predicted the form that savior would take, or the firestorm that would follow her every move. Then came Caitlin Clark. This wasn't just another #1 draft pick. This was the arrival of a supernova. This was a phenomenon. At the University of Iowa, she had become a household name, a figure who transcended women's basketball and even sports itself. She wasn't just breaking records, she was shattering them with a casual flair that was intoxicating to watch, pulling up for logo threes and delivering no-look passes that seemed to bend the laws of physics. But her real power wasn't just on the court, it was in the numbers, the undeniable, staggering metrics that make television executives drool. The 2024 NCAA Women's Championship game, starring Clark, drew a mind-boggling 18.7 million viewers. To put that in perspective, it had more viewers than every single World Series game that year, and outperformed every NBA Finals game. It wasn't just a game, it was a national cultural event. She had single-handedly made women's college basketball must-see TV. When she announced her decision to enter the WNBA draft, it wasn't just a career move. It was a seismic shift in the sports landscape. The Indiana Fever, a team that had languished at the bottom of the league, instantly became the hottest ticket in town. Her jersey sold out in hours, becoming the highest-selling draft day jersey in history for any sport. Suddenly, the WNBA was on ESPN's front page every single day. The savior had arrived, but she was about to step into a new arena, one where the rules were different. And the welcome wasn't nearly as warm, and the jealousy was palpable. And what happened next would send shockwaves through the entire sports world. Instead of a red carpet welcome, Caitlin Clark was met with a brutal, physical reality check. The narrative quickly shifted from her incredible talent to the shocking level of aggression directed at her. It started with subtle nudges and hard screens, the kind of welcome to the league moments that are standard in any sport. But it quickly escalated. Veterans were quoted in the media saying she was in for a rude awakening, that the pros were different. But what the public saw felt like something else entirely. It felt personal. It felt like targeting. The breaking point, the moment that turned a sports story into a national controversy, came during a game against the Chicago Sky. A flagrant foul from Chennedy Carter, a blindside hip check that sent Clark to the floor while the ball was out of play, became an instant viral moment. It was a play that had nothing to do with basketball. It looked malicious. It looked like a calculated hit. The incident ignited a media firestorm that raged for days. Was the league's establishment trying to haze the newcomer? Or were they actively trying to injure the one person who was bringing millions of new eyes and millions of new dollars to their product? The discourse turned toxic, with accusations of jealousy, resentment, and even racial undertones flying across social media and debate shows. It appeared as though the WNBA was on the verge of a full-blown civil war, with its own players seemingly sabotaging their golden goose. The league's dream was turning into a public relations nightmare. It was a full-blown crisis. And that's when the loudest, most unapologetic voice in sports decided he'd had enough. Stephen A. Smith, the unfiltered, often polarizing face of ESPN's First Take, saw what was happening, and he wasn't having it. For days, he used his massive platform to unleash a verbal assault on the WNBA players and the league itself. He wasn't just commenting on a hard foul, he was exposing a level of professional short-sightedness that he found absolutely infuriating. He yelled, he gestured, he called out players by name. His message was clear and booming. How could you be this foolish? He argued that the players targeting Clark were committing professional malpractice of the highest order. And he explained in no uncertain terms that Clark was the ticket, the singular force who could elevate everyone's salary, get them the long-coveted charter flights, and put the WNBA on a global stage it had never seen before. In his eyes, every cheap shot at Clark was a shot at their own bank accounts, a slap in the face to their own financial futures. He famously declared that the other players weren't just jealous of her skill, they were jealous of her light, the mainstream all-American appeal that was drawing in a new demographic of fans the league had desperately needed for years. But his most crucial point, the one that confirmed the entire premise of Clark's true value, was about the money. He screamed that they were fumbling the bag at the most critical moment in the league's history. And he was right. For a reason far bigger and more strategically important than most people understood. This is the billion-dollar secret that changes everything. The WNBA's current media rights deal, which bundles them with the NBA, pays the league a reported $60 million per year. It's a respectable number, but it pales in comparison to other professional sports leagues and is the primary reason for the salary caps and financial constraints the players have dealt with for so long. That deal expires after the 2025 season. This means that right now, at this very moment, as Caitlin Clark sells out arenas and breaks viewership records, WNBA executives are in the middle of high-stakes negotiations for their next television contract. the one that will define the league starting in 2026. This is where Clark's shocking move to enter the league becomes a masterstroke of perfect timing. Before her, the league might have hoped for a modest increase, perhaps doubling their deal to $120 million a year if they were lucky. But with the Caitlin Clark effect in full swing, the game has been completely reset. Now, networks aren't just bidding on the WNBA, they're bidding on the Caitlin Clark show. Ratings for her games are up over 200% on some networks. She is a proven, undeniable ratings giant. The league now has the ultimate bargaining chip. They can walk into a room with Disney, NBC, Amazon, or any other media titan and show concrete, irrefutable proof that they have a superstar who draws more viewers than some of the most established male sports properties. The analysts now predict the WNBA could command a deal worth upwards of $250 million a year, or potentially even more. That one decision, to go pro at that exact moment, injected billions of dollars of potential value into the league. That is how she single-handedly saved the 2026 season and beyond. The new deal will fund everything: dramatically higher salaries for all players, state-of-the-art training facilities, bigger marketing budgets, and the long-demanded charter flights that, thanks to her impact, have already been implemented. It secures the league's future for a generation. But what if the on-court drama was more than just petty jealousy? A more cynical, and perhaps more brilliant, theory has emerged. What if the controversy was actually the best marketing the league could have ever asked for? Think about it. As before the Kennedy Carter foul,